Dedicated to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikoin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 53, Friday rain with a high near 57, and Saturday cloudy with a high around 56. Unleash your cravings at Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Dive into a world of flavor with their signature Philly steak, tantalizing turkey bacon avocado, and an array of mouth-watering options like crispy chicken and fish. Pair it perfectly with freshly fried fries or golden onion rings. Unforgettable sandwiches. That's Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Karigiwi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Trading Post. Shop now at causecart.shop and search Native Roots to find your resist gear Pinigigi for your support.
Absolutely. Hey, just want to say a big shout out to everyone out there. It's Native American Heritage Month here in Minnesota, and I know Native American Community Development Institute just had a press release on a giveaway, Haley.
Yeah, they're doing their seedling giveaway coming up, I think, this weekend. But they also chose to cancel their open house. So like you said, Robert, May is American Indian Month here across the state of Minnesota. And every Native organization or nonprofit chooses to hold an open house during that month. But since the parade and kickoff powwow at the American Indian Center in Minneapolis got postponed to May 30th, which was the same day as NACD's open house, NACTI chose to cancel it in order to help support the parade and community on that day. So if you can come out to the rescheduled date for the parade and the powwow at the Minneapolis American Indian Center, that'll be May 30th on the Friday.
We have a few more things to talk about, but I'm wondering, Haley, what do you think if we bring up the governor of Wisconsin's update?
Yeah, should we play Tony Evers' weekly update?
Yeah, just let me say one thing before we do that. We're going to have Ruth-Ann Thorn, host and producer of This is Indian Country, on, and really excited about that. So why don't we take a quick listen to Tony Evers, the great governor of Wisconsin. Oh,
hey there, Native Roots Radio. Governor Tony Evers here with my weekly update. I declared 2024 the year of the worker in Wisconsin because I want addressing the workforce challenges that plagued our state for generations to be a top priority. And the results speak for themselves. We had historically low unemployment and 8 consecutive months of record high employment. We also saw a record high enrollment in both our registered and youth apprenticeship programs and launched the state's first ever teacher apprenticeship program. We had a heck of a year in 2024, but just because the year of the worker is over doesn't mean that we're going to slow down in 2025. That's why I put forth a budget that made bold investments to bolster our workforce and ensure Wisconsin's prosperity can continue into the future. Unfortunately, while employers are still struggling to find workers and our state continues to see generational workforce shortages, Republican lawmakers gut my budget plans to bolster our workforce in key industries. Republican members of the state's budget committee voted to gut grants to local organizations to address local workforce needs and barriers to work, investments in our state's registered apprenticeship program and fast-forward workforce training opportunities, including AI and teaching, and supports that connect workers to jobs, including the highly successful Worker Connection pilot program and youth to registered apprenticeship supports. And they got key plans to support working parents, like providing paid family and medical leave and investing in child care to make it more affordable and accessible. The most frustrating part for me as governor is that Republicans consistently reject basic common sense proposals that can help kids, families, and Wisconsinites across our state. And they have yet to offer any real or meaningful plans of their own to address the pressing issues facing our state, from axing middle-class tax cuts and property tax relief to stripping out investments to clean up our water and feed hungry kids. Republicans gutted over 600 proposals from our budget. Republicans need to get serious about getting things done. Thank you. Back to you, Robert, and Native Roots Radio.
Thank you, Governor Evers, for all the work you do and keeping things blue as possible in the state of Wisconsin. Haley, I just want to, I know we got a couple things we want to talk about, but I just want to give a shout out to our listeners in Wisconsin, where there's big storms, hail, and tornado warnings happening right now. And I know some people are coming in the Twin Cities from Black River Falls for tonight's area meeting for Ho-Chunk in the Twin Cities. So safe travels to everyone, Haley.
Yeah, please stay sky aware. We just had a couple of line of thunderstorms roll through the Twin Cities. There was a couple tornado warnings, I know, in the western part of the state, but we are through those. But Wisconsin relatives, please just stay sky aware.
Yeah, I like that, sky aware. Oh, wow. We're the Sky Clan. Oh, wow.
Hey, Eagle Clan.
Right on.
Well, what else is going on? We were talking a little bit about our Native nonprofits here in the Twin Cities. Tomorrow is actually Native Nonprofit Day, if you knew that. I just found that out. There's actually there's a lot of great organizations doing great work for our communities. So we hope you can support them in any way you can. Pinagigi to all of our Native nonprofits, especially here in the Twin Cities.
Right. And if you're thinking about, coughing up some money, tomorrow would be a great day.
Yeah, I think there's like early donating too. That's already started. I think I saw someone post, but just to shout out a few here in the Twin Cities, American Indian Family Center has been around for years in St. Paul. We have the NACDI, Native American Community Development Institute. We also have Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center in South Minneapolis, which is a great one. What else? There's stuff going on.
Community Clinic, NADCT,
the clinic, yep.
AOIC. What's the one in St. Paul, Minnesota?
The Sexual Assault Coalition.
Well, that too. Yep. There's a
I was
lot of
thinking
them.
the Family Center in St. Paul.
Yeah. You already said that. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, everyone be safe out there, and also think about our relatives on Minnesota nonprofit Native Day tomorrow.
There's stuff going on this weekend that we'll talk about later on in the show. I think I wanted to shout out a couple of events that we didn't get to talk about this week, though. Saturday, May 17th, this weekend, there's an MMIR music and benefit concert. MMIR stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives. So this is benefiting them and raising awareness. It's going to be at Eagles, 24-2507 East 25th Street in Minneapolis. Doors are going to open at 6 p.m. This is again on Saturday, May 17th. You're going to be joining some of the best artists here in Minnesota for an epic night of music to support MMIR. It's featuring, our friends, Pretendians, Leaving Hope, War Party, Lost Evidence, Tips, Millennial Falcon, Minnesota Motor, sorry if I'm not saying that right, Minnesota Motor and Owl. It is 21 plus, and there is a $20 cover donation for MMIR awareness.
All for a great cause, right? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we heard about that a couple days ago. And again, and then we have Sunday, May 18th, Indigenous Arts and Crafts Fair at the Bloomington Civic Plaza from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Monday, the 19th, American Indian Day on the Hill starts at 9:30. I'm going to try and get to that before I skedaddle to Madison on that day.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to get out and do. I know a lot of people are actually planning to be posted up and vending at that Indigenous Arts and Crafts Fair at the Bloomington Civic Plaza on Sunday. So that'd be a good one to check out too. And then of course on Monday, American Indian Day. Yeah, I know you like that one, Robert.
Yeah, I do. I do.
There's a lot of people that go to that too. Well, we have I'm excited to talk to Ruth-Ann Thorn up next and have her back on the show. She's the host and producer of This is Indian Country, which is a docuseries, and you can watch it now on First Nations Experience or FNX.
Definitely. And we'll be talking to her about a lot of the things she's doing. And, if you're following her on social media, she's doing a lot. So it'll be great to catch up with Ruth-Ann Thorn. And so, hey, we'll be back. This is Native Roots Radio. Everyone out there in Wisconsin that's listening, please be safe. We'll be right back. Ooh, wow.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S+ Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story. Help build the future we deserve.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we have our friend Ruth-Ann Thorn, host and producer of This is Indian Country, back with us again. And Ruth-Ann, can you hear us?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. Thanks so much again for joining us on Native Roots Radio. Can you please introduce yourself and to listeners in a good way? Oh,
Absolutely. So, this is Ruth-Ann Thorn. I am today I'm a little bit of a traveling vagabond because I'm on my way to Vegas. I'm working with an art gallery in the Venetian, but I am Luceño or Peocoicham. I'm a people of the West from a Southern California Native American tribe. So I'm happy to be here.
we're really happy to have you on again. We've been following you on the socials, and you are a nonstop traveling and doing things. It's great to catch up with you. I know there was a big gala that just happened. We'd love to just have an update of what you've been doing.
Oh my gosh, what haven't I been doing? So, let's see. My 12 episode series, which you were a part of with the Native Roots Trading Post, which was a huge thrill, that just started airing in April of this year. And so, in conjunction with that, FNX, which is also known as the First Native Experience, they are one of the larger streaming platforms for Native content. They received a grant to get an app to allow people to watch Native content globally. So it's just like Netflix. You can download it, you can put it up on your smart television, you can put it on your phone, and you can watch content like This is Indian Country anytime you want. You just kind of dial up the episode and off you go. So that is a very big deal. And in honor of that, we did a huge red carpet gala in Palm Springs at Agua Caliente. We had lots of movie stars come out, native and non-native. It was just a really big deal, and I think it was a little overwhelming to think of the impact that this is going to have.
Yeah, kudos to you and to the people working on this. And I know you worked pretty hard on that first season, and I appreciate you showcasing a lot of things here in the Twin Cities, including Native Roots Trading Post.
I think we just kicked it off with the right group because I didn't realize the richness that the tribes have where you're located in Minnesota. And even just learning about things like what happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, the massacre at Mankato. Am I saying it right?
Yep.
Things like that you folks know about because that's your area, but a lot of the world has no idea to this day, things that have happened that have really shaped the way that Native people are viewed. So that was it was a very important thing.
Yeah, and what I loved about the show was how you amplified basically our resistance in art, within art and food sovereignty and things like that we here in the 5-state area in the Midwest are really really keen on.
Even going to Dayton's department store and doing the research on how that came to be and how it's like super upscale, bougie, luxury department store where natives weren't allowed to come in and shop. Were not welcomed. And the fact that you're taking that space back over and allowing people to come in and see the rich history, all of the creativity that's happening, I thought that was really huge.
Yeah, and it was great to see you like amplify a few of the artists too that really are making a difference. And one of the things that I've learned in my journey with working with the store and working with artists is that being a native artist is so much so much deeper than just throwing a teepee onto a nice wooded area. We cover everything.
I agree. And I think having worked with artists, what I'm really enjoying is seeing that artists are taking the traditions of the past and blending them with modern day ideas,
Hmm.
showing that we evolve as people and that we are not relics, that we're not these black and white pictures, but we are modern day native people, and we grasp from other cultures as well, and we evolve in all the things that we do, whether it's the arts or music or even in the sciences. There's so many amazing things that are happening that our people are involved in. And I think it's really important that people understand that even though we've had a lot of hardships, we counterbalance that with our resilience. And not only are we still here, but we're still here in a way that's giving back to the community because that's what we've always done historically.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. So, it kinda got a little vibe of, you're surprised about the Twin Cities. What else surprised you? I know, we talk about here in Native Roots Radio that there's 75,000, Native Americans in the Twin Cities, and it's over 150 different nations that are not only because this is Lakota Dakota land, but there's all other tribes from all over Turtle Island that are here. And so, like you said, we have like a rich Twin City area Indian community.
Well, the first thing that stood out is I don't think I've ever gone to a coffee shop called Powwow Coffee. So that was the first time I had really been into a mainstream business where, oh, it's a coffee shop, but here it is. It's run by Native people. I mean, you guys may take that for granted, but most cities you go into, you won't even find one business that's Native owned. So that would kind of kicked it off for me. And then going to your, I think it's called Native American Center downtown,
Right.
where you
Yeah.
have places where the elders can gather, and you have a chef that is pulling the indigenous foods in and educating people about not only health but also the traditions. Those were the first things that grasped me because they're modern day things that are happening. But then also going to like to the falls and hearing the
Yeah.
history of the falls, and going to I think it was Sean Sherman's restaurant, Owamini,
Yep. Yep.
and learning about the history of that being a sacred spot that he was in, and that ceremony had been done there. I just think it's when you get back to the original idea of the land that you're walking on. People want to be incredibly patriotic in this country, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you really want to know the roots of the land you're standing on, you have to go back to the original people. And I think in
Yeah.
Minnesota, you do a good job of holding on to that.
Yeah, really
Mhm.
appreciate that. Haley, we are now got a new organization that's helping with right over there by Owamni now.
Oh, yeah. Our
So
friends, Owamni Yamni Okorayapi.
exactly. I knew you could say
Yeah.
that better than me, so that's why I threw it to the producer, Ruth-Ann.
Took me a second, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're protecting and naming things, renaming things, and trying to get rid of. We had a lake that was called Lake Calhoun that was changed to Bade Makaska because Calhoun was a not good to Native Americans, but he was also a big slave owner, and he wasn't even from Minnesota. So that was a big push. That's part of our land back here in Minnesota.
I love that.
So, are we gonna have another season, coming up? Are you working on another season?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because we are in the planning stages. The next 12 episodes, so season 2 of This is Indian Country, will cover the tribes on the East Coast primarily. So starting with upstate New York, Seneca Nation, the Mohawks, we will be going into the sacred part of Niagara Falls. So a lot of people, including myself, did not know that, the Niagara Falls that we know of is one part, but there's a whole nother section just for Native people, because again, Niagara Falls is considered a place of ceremony. So I've been invited to go and interview some of the elders who are, they're going to share, their view on something that's globally known, Niagara. And then I'm very excited to go into the Hamptons and interview some of the tribes there. When you think of Hamptons, you think of these gorgeous white beaches, super waspy, people in their white linen, drinking champagne under their white tents. But little did we know that the people that were there are still there. And so we're going to meet the natives in the Hamptons, the true bougie natives.
Yeah.
Right on.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Ruth-Ann, can you hold on for another segment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Hey, we're here with Ruth-Ann Thorn, host and producer of This is Indian Country, and we're having just a great conversation. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be back after this short break, Haley.
Stay with us.
Yes.
Art-A-Whirl is celebrating its 30th year. This popular free event is the largest open studio tour in the nation, a fan favorite with art lovers, families, and fun seekers alike. With 1,400 artists and 100 locations throughout Northeast Minneapolis, you'll meet potters, painters, weavers, woodworkers, and more. And you'll find all types of art at all price levels. Then there are the terrific bars, restaurants, and breweries in Northeast, plus music, entertainment, and art demos. With Art-A-Whirl, you're set for 3 days of wonder. Start planning now. Art-A-Whirl is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Visit NEMA.org. That's NEMAA.org for details. You'll find an artist directory, maps, dining and brew guides, event and music schedules, even info on Metro Transit passes and trolley rides. Plus, new this year, a Passport app can win you prizes, a commemorative sculpture and raffle, a special beer from prize, and 30 featured artists of Art-A-Whirl. That's May 16th through the 18th in Northeast.
I love my Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota for one simple reason. I can depend on them. You know they keep you safe, and they're incredibly reliable, fuel-efficient, comfortable, and stylish. The Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has 10 Toyotas as best buys in affordability. Toyotas are some of Consumer Reports' highest-rated certified pre-owned vehicles, and Rudy Luther Toyota's service department is the one place I take my Sienna for all of its maintenance needs. Toyotas are fantastic vehicles because they're fantastic vehicles. See for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota off of 394 in Golden Valley.
Boldly challenging ableism is here to go where some people won't. I'm Katrina Simons, and every week I'm digging into the real impact of ableism, breaking down myths, calling out barriers, and pushing for a world where disabled people belong in every space. With my work at the University of Minnesota's Institute on Community Integration and a lifetime of lived experience, I'm diving into everything from employment and housing to justice and culture. And yeah, I bring some humor and heart along the way.
Boldly Challenging Ableism debuts on Sunday, May 18th at 2 o'clock on AM 950. AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. Warm weather is here. Maybe you're getting ready for a graduation party over at the house. There's a lot coming up as summer nears. Your house isn't ready, so that's why you need to call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res right now. Zero Res can handle every surface in your home: carpets, tile and grout, hardwood, laminate, stone, upholstery, rugs, and air ducts. Zero Res has both been out to my house and out here at AM 950 in our studios in recent months. They did such a fantastic job. They were on time, Professional and courteous. They got the stains out that we didn't think would come out here at the station. This month, get 3-room Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet and air duct cleaner and take 20% off all services. That's right, 20% off all services. But you need to go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. 20% off all services all month. That's Zero Res. Backward or forward spells the same.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 53, Friday rain with a high near 57, and Saturday cloudy with a high around 56. Natural Lawn has been delivering beautiful weed-free lawns for over 30 years with environmentally friendly, organic-based treatments. Their proprietary fertilizer blends and expert soil testing mean healthier grass with fewer chemicals, safer for your family and the planet, with no contracts and guaranteed results. Let your lawn thrive at naturallon.com.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are here with our friend Ruth-Ann Thorn, host and producer of This is Indian Country. And again, Ruth-Ann, welcome to be for coming on, and also let our listeners know how they can listen and download your shows.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for what you do, because it's so important for our voices to be heard. And I think you've made that platform available for many Native people over the time. So I appreciate that. This is Indian Country can now be seen as on a live streaming platform called FNX. And the easiest way to download it is just go to FNX, so that stands for First Nations Experience, fnx.org/APP. So app, fnx.org/app. Not only can you see my show, but there's many different incredible shows besides mine. I have to give a little plug because one of my favorite is a new one called Navajo Highway. And it's a kids show with puppets, and it is really fun, and it teaches kids how to learn their own language, because obviously Navajo Nation is quite large, and that way a lot of the children that maybe don't even live on the res can go home to their reservation and talk to their grandma in their native tongue. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, that is awesome. Hey, one of your episodes, a California episode, you had you were with a Black Eyed Peas artist, Taboo, and I know he was. Let me just give you a quick. We started the show during Standing Rock, and because of all the misinformation that was out there, or no information with the big Standing Rock, and I know Taboo was there a lot in recording and also supporting. So that's just great to have him on the show.
He's an amazing human being, and really, I think, like many of us who really didn't have an opportunity to grow up with the culture the way that some people that grew up on the res. I mean, I was close enough to the reservation that my dad's from, that I went back and forth, but I didn't live there all the time. He had a similar situation where his grandmother, who's Hopi, moved with his mother to Los Angeles. And although she was very traditional, he didn't really have an opportunity to become entrenched in his culture. So he really identified more as a Mexican, Hispanic, I guess, artist. And then later he told me the story about when he got cancer. He really had to, dig deep because he was facing stage 4 cancer, and he started praying, and his grandmother came to him in a dream and told him what he should do in order to survive cancer. And he followed her advice, and that led to him being cancer free. And so that was really the turning point where he went back to his traditional ways and really took the time to really understand his culture. And it was right around that time that he went to Standing Rock. This is a really beautiful story.
Wow, Haley and Ruth, I'm a little emotional here after hearing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think his focus is to uplift the youth in Indian country, which you can see him any chance he gets an opportunity to give back, that's what he's doing.
Wow, amazing. I don't know, Haley, there's so many times that we do the show and I get hit with emotion, and that's this is one of them. Help me out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I didn't really know that, I guess, either. But what other what other stories have impacted you the most during your travels to these different indigenous communities?
That's a really tough question because we have a kind of a funny saying that every time we leave as a film crew, and you met my crew, we
Yeah.
walk away from the interviews and we look at each other. It's kind of an ongoing joke now, and we look at each other and we say, "How can we ever film anything better than that?" And
Wow.
it just keeps coming. But I think Tantu Cardinal, who
Yeah.
is probably one of the leading ladies in Hollywood as an actor, she's First
Mhm.
Nations. I feel like she had a very interesting story. She's a little bit older, so she's seen a lot in Hollywood. She's paved the way. And what I found to be really interesting about Tantu is her spiritual connection to her ancestors. She's very intent on listening, and maybe that's part of becoming an elder. I asked her questions about the roles that she would take and how she felt she was able to navigate this really tumultuous place to be, which is Hollywood. It's very cutthroat. It's a difficult place to really live and be as a person, and especially as a Native person. And she just kept coming back to, I spend a lot of time in prayer and asking my ancestors what they want me to do and what doors that need to be opened for me. And I took that, I walked away grasping that wisdom from the elders. So that was one thing that really made an impact. I think another reservation that I went to was Warm Springs, Oregon, which is, it's so beautiful. You know, they've got the wild horses running. It's like every place you look, you could take a picture and it could be a postcard.
Wow.
But they're one of the tribes that really struggle financially. They're still, gathering rain and purifying the water for drinking water. But in the midst of all of their struggle, they are probably the most positive people that I've met and the most giving. They don't have much, but what they have, they're incredibly generous with, and they have an incredibly rich history. And the one thing about the Oregon tribes that really blew my mind was, again, this is history that I didn't know, but in 1953, the state of Oregon canceled all of the native tribes. They just decided one day that, you know what? You guys are no longer natives. Be American, act American now. And they removed their federal recognition, and they removed all of the support that they had signed treaties for. And it was just mind boggling because it was the first time I had ever really heard of that. And it wasn't until Reagan's administration came in that the tribes were granted back the ability to have land. And also at that time, there were so few of them that they came together. And that's why if you go to Oregon, it's the 13 federally confederated, I'm saying it wrong, confederated tribes. That means there were so few that they all became a family, basically. And there's 3 places in Oregon. So stories like that, I'd never heard of that. We didn't get canceled in California.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, and speaking of Oregon or Portland, Oregon, you had met Tish, a punk rock vocalist, and so there's, I don't want to say another extreme, but there's another another part of our culture that young people are grasping to and still keeping it real.
It's just, again, it's just so, it warms my heart to think of this next generation holding on to their traditions and their ways, whatever tribe they're from, but still participating in the modern day culture like we always have, because we've evolved, we've borrowed from other cultures, they've borrowed from us. And that's part of the history. I'm just going to bore you guys because I get so excited. But one of
No.
the
This
things
is
that
so
was amazing, thank you, is I come from an art background, so I was in Seattle and I was looking at these amazing masks that are carved. And I was looking at it and I talked to one of the elders. I said, this mask reminds me a lot of the Japanese masks when I went to Japan, the no masks and the different theater. And he said, "Oh, well, of course, because we traded with the Japanese from the 1400s. So we took their designs and they took our designs." He said, "We were a country like any other country. We bartered and traded with people from all over the world." And that really stuck because I thought that's what This Is Indian Country is about.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And
That's
go ahead, Haley.
Oh no, you're good. We just talked about this. I was just in Seattle and I made the connection between those same carved masks. I'm forgetting the tribe. I did the Puyallup tribe, I think. But they had those carved wooden masks, and I was trying to make the connection. It kind of reminded me of like our South Polynesian relatives, and just making that connection, like the ocean's right there. So it would make sense that they were trading and stuff even with them.
Yeah, all over. And I'm excited to go again, going back to season 2 of This Is Indian Country. One of the things I'm really excited about is in upstate New York, in the Seneca Nation and the Mohawk, they have a lot of Scandinavian DNA. And that goes back to the Vikings. A lot of the tools that they use as native tribes were all from the Scandinavian tribes. The Vikings came over and many times fell in love with native women and were invited to stay and be part of the tribe. And there you go.
Wow.
They cohabitated in a friendly manner. So again, these are the history lessons that I think have been removed from obviously our history books, but these are things that have been pushed away as
Mhm.
if to say that we were this isolated group of people that nobody ever knew who we were, and we were
Right.
savages and we fought with everybody that came on
Right.
to the land. That is so far from the truth. We were a country like any other country. And I think that's what I get excited to talk about.
Well, Ruth-Ann Thorn, host and producer of This Is Indian Country on fx.org and slash the apps to watch this stuff at your leisure. We got to have you on again. This is so exciting and longer. I could listen to you all day. Just a big peeny for coming on, and keep up the great work. We really appreciate you here in the Twin Cities and all our 30 other stations in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan. Oh,
My great honor. And you guys keep up the good work too. I'm really grateful to know you.
right on, Peony. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We're going to take a quick break and pay the bills. We'll be right back after this short break.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demony, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
Oh! Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and we got to howl for our sacred wolves. Hey, there's a lot going on, and let's talk a little bit what's happening. I know this month is Native American Month, and there's a play happening right down the block here on University Avenue here in the next few days, and we've been talking a little bit about it.
Yeah, I remember Bob Blake brought this up last time he was on the show, and this is Niche, Niizh, Ojibwe. It's written by Joelle Peters. And this has been going on. I think it started last week, but I know this weekend is the last weekend to see it. It is Friday and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m., Sundays at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's at 825 Arts University Avenue in St. Paul. Niche is, it's a play, and sorry, excuse me one sec. The setting is in Red Lake. It's current in the present is where it takes place. The production of Niche is originally set on a southwestern Ontario reserve and has been reimagined to honor and reflect the identity and culture of the Red Lake Reservation. I have a feeling this is going to be a funny play because just looking at the cast here, it looks like we got Benet McNamara. Apologize if I'm not saying your name right. Ramiro Eagleson Martin. Silvestre or Trey Perantes, Robert Blake, our friend Bob Blake, Cindy Martin. Yeah, Cindy Martin, too, who we had on the show with ASL interpreters or Native. Right. And then Andrea Fairbanks is also in this. So let's see. There's a note from the director here. At its heart, Niche is a celebration of who we are, our past, our present, our future. Myself and the co-founders of Mini Gishik Theater Ensemble felt it was time to bring something into the world that carries joy, positivity. Sorry, I lost my track. I was trying to put the poster up here, but I'll find it here. This production features an all Anishinaabe cast with artists from the Red Lake, Leech Lake, and White Earth Nation. There's something deeply powerful about telling a story written by and for our people, performed by those who carry the lineage. It says Chimi Gwitch to playwright Joelle Peters for gifting us this beautiful story, one that resonates so deeply across generations. Though this story lives in the present, it echoes the voices of our ancestors and speaks forward into generations to come. It's also going to be ASL interpreted. There's going to be American Sign Language there, and also Ojibwe too. It's translated, I think.
Cool.
Yeah. So check that out. It's going to be the last weekend, this weekend, Saturday and Friday and Saturdays and Sunday at 2. This weekend, it says that Marcy Rendon, the author, is doing community bingo, and she is the guest bingo caller. That's going to be before Saturday's show, and they're going to start that at 6 p.m. on May 17th.
That sounds great.
That's so fun.
Cool. Hey, tonight, get ready too. I want you to get ready to do a Ho Chunk word of the day. But tonight we have Minneapolis honoring our youth from 5:30 to 7:30 at South High School. That's always big. And then Friday, there's a bunch of things going on at 12 to 1:30 at Eshenabi Academy School Career Fair, and then 12:30 Sanford Middle School Powwow, and that's 3524 42nd Avenue in Minneapolis. And then I always like to go to this one, the White Earth Urban Office open house from 12 to 3, and that's what's happening here directly because of our Native American month here.
Yeah, American Indian Celebration Month is the entire month of May here in the state of Minnesota. I had to look up a Ho Chunk word on the dictionary app while you were running through those events. A lot of fun things going on this weekend. Did you mention the 5K or the run on Saturday?
No, but I have a Ho Chunk word if you want, because
Yeah, go ahead.
I have one too. But so let's finish up Saturday. The Native women running hit the streets in the MMIR team. That's a women's 5K, 10K, and 10-mile run. Huh.
Yeah, I think you can choose up to what you're comfortable running there. But yeah, shout out to our friends, Native Women Running. We got the founder, Verna Volker, running and getting a group of great women to have these teams in different states across Turtle Island.
Oh, wow.
Good luck to those running here in the Twin Cities on Saturday for
And
women.
where is that? Where is that? I don't.
I think Women Run the Cities. I think, is that in St. Paul? I honestly am not too familiar with that one. It might be
No.
both cities, considering it's Women Run the Cities. I'm not sure.
Well, it's in the United States because I threw in a 10-mile run too. They got off the metric system there, I see.
This is the Twin Cities one.
Okay.
Also on Saturday, this is something we talked about earlier in the week too. The Community Pipe Ceremony and Bison Festival is coming back for the season. It's going to be at 2612 St. Croix Trail in Afton, Minnesota. May 17th, it's from 10 to 2. There's going to be the bison release back into the park, so it's cool activity to bring the kids out to. There's also going to be eco arts, some live music. Oh, I think this is also actually a 5K. You can run with the bison. I think it's walk or run at your own pace. The fun run.
You can't run with the bison. They might.
I don't think next to them. I think it's just a festival themed run, but that would be something, wouldn't it?
You could dress up as a bison and run.
That'd still be cool to be out there and run as they're getting released back into the park. What is the address on here? So they're doing the bison release at 12 p.m. on the Saturday, May 17th. And the address here for the Bison Festival itself is actually...
12? Is that 26? No, I'm looking at a different... Oh, I'm looking at a different thing.
Yeah, they're different. This one says Lucy Winton Bell Athletic Fields in Lakeland, Minnesota, 15601 Hudson. I think you can just go ahead and look up bellwin.org/bisonfest, and Bellwin is spelled BELWIN.org, and you can find that Bison Fest. I think you do have to get tickets. I think it is. Actually, it says this year, purchase tickets in advance. They are available on a sliding scale cost of $10, $20, or what does that say, $35 per car.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's by car. So
so
bring your res cars that can fit that most relatives.
That's right. A res car for sure. Hey, I want to jump in this because we only have a minute or so, so we can discuss this. But
yeah.
I started a new business, and it's called Native Wajua Supplies, and Wajua means fun times.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were calling it that. Did you change the name recently?
No, that's for if I get in the cannabis business, fun times.
Oh, okay. So this is something I do not know about too much.
Right.
That's cool. All right. Well,
we got to keep it away from the young ones, Oh, wait. Yeah. WOOZAWA. So it's pronounced Wazua. So that's fun times.
Oh, that's your Ho Chunk word?
That's my Ho Chunk word. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Fun time.
I thought you were going to shout out the Native Roots Trading Post online shop. That's what I thought you were
I
going.
think I think we're going to do that in the first segment.
Okay, I was confused. Okay, should I do my ho chunk word? I was looking one up
Yeah.
while you were
Yeah.
talking.
Oh,
And now I kind of forgot it, so now I got to go back. Well, it was raining here today. We finally got some rain in Minnesota earlier. Desperately needed. So I looked up the ho chunk word for rain, and I'm going to actually play it. This is through the Ho Chunk mobile dictionary app, and they have the elders recording the words in here so we can listen and learn together. Oh, I guess it won't play. We'll see. Anyways, it's Niju, I think. Oh, it's not going to work. Well, Niju, I guess, is the Ho Chunk word for rain.
Well, we'll have to have more. What word am I looking for? We'll have to have more rehearsals before the show.
I guess so. Good thing we're coming up to the end of the week. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
right.
Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Hey, this has been Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day. And have a Wajua day. Hoa.
At Metro State University, students learn from experts